Yes, my name is James Grafas and I live in Tauranga in Pies Pa. We have a 4-bedroom home. We converted one of them into an office and live here with 2 kids. So the way I heard about the Basis Smart Panel was I was just Googling how to deal with having too much load in my house, and somehow it came up with an article about some board that had been invented in New Zealand, which was pretty exciting. And so went looking and found out a bit more about the Basis Smart Panel. So the issue that we had with our home is we only moved here in February, and so about 8 months ago, and we noticed really quickly that we were having issues with how many appliances we had here. So the house already had a number of things, double oven and induction cooktop and things like that, and underfloor heating, and a heated pool. But we added a spa and we added a sauna, and they're all incredibly high load, and so we were actually blowing the fuse out on the street because we were exceeding the 14 kilowatts that was available to us from the network. And we looked at a number of different options, but by far the simplest was actually to get a smart panel put in for a Basis Smart Panel, which meant that we could actually turn circuits off, turn them on, and manage that load, particularly when we're having a sauna or something like that, which is when the biggest issue is. So actually, when I was a teenager in early 20s, I was actually an electrician, and so I hadn't even thought when we ordered a sauna about the fact that it was going to cause issues. But as soon as I knew there was an issue and we were blowing the circuit, I started looking at options and found out that I could bring in another phase, but that was going to cost a whole bunch of money. And we'd just put in solar, so we would have to redo how the whole solar system was set up to be multi-phase. So that was not a great solution and an expensive one. Alternatively, we found out that lines company or network company could give us more supply on our single phase, but then they would move us into a commercial rate for our power, which the daily fee literally went from, I don't know, $1.20 a day or something to like $12 a day. It was like 10 times the amount. And our power rates would go up. So that sounded like a terrible solution. And so that's where the smart panel and being able to actually control each circuit made it incredibly easy. So with the smart panel, the Basis Smart Panel, what it enables us to do is set routines. So I actually make sure that in the times where we typically use like the cooking equipment and the sauna, which is kind of early in the morning actually, when I get up early and use the sauna, or in the evening, I turn off all the kind of non-essential things in that period of time. So the hot water cylinder that could just kick on at any time, the underfloor heating that again could kick on if it gets a bit cold, and actually even the spa, because it's usually hot enough anyway, it doesn't need to be on that whole time. So I just make sure those are all set to turn off at those peak times, and then we don't even notice it because they turn themselves off, they turn themselves back on at the board, and we have everything works when we need it, but not using the power when we have those constraints. So one of the things that we found really interesting was when Basis on the app released like a power plan kind of comparison tool, we went in there and found out that the plan we'd just gone on to recently was actually the best plan, so that was reassuring, and that some other companies we could move to would literally cost us thousands of dollars more a year. So it was nice to know that we had the best plan, because I think I've always been paranoid about that, should I be with someone else in terms of a power company, and so it's good to know that we've got the best. The other thing that's been really cool is being able to work with our solar and the time of use plan we have with our network to make sure that we're actually setting routines that shut circuits down when power is most expensive or when we're not generating power, and turn them on, particularly things like the hot water cylinder and stuff, turn them on when the power is the cheapest or when we're generating. So it has been actually really good to be able to choose exactly when the house is using electricity and when it's not, for all the non-essential things, because there's so many things in the house that you don't really even notice when your hot water cylinder's on. It's just on, and as long as you have enough hot water, it doesn't matter when it's off. So that's all been really, really cool as well. I think I would recommend the Basis Smart Panel to firstly geeky people. I'm a little bit geeky, and so I like tech and I like new tools and stuff, so it's fun to have that kind of access and have a switchboard that has e-ink displays and is customizable and is far more interesting than the old switches. But I'd also recommend it to people who have kind of the issue that we came across, which is more toys in the home, and there are more things like saunas and spa pools and stuff that put you on edge of using too much power. But also just, I think, if you want peace of mind to know that you're paying the right amount and you're with the right provider, and that you're not paying for expensive electricity for things like your hot water cylinder and stuff. It's just peace of mind. The other thing for me is, I just think it's the next step of what a switchboard could be. Switchboards haven't changed much. They've just been these switches in the garage, and so something that's smarter and customizable just makes sense.